Bazar, and I'm here with Director of Sales Mike Fenn, and we're here today to talk to you about the March shipment report. Just came out this morning. Set the stage as we always do. This is the 8th shipment report for the marketing season. Mike, why don't you give us a rundown of the numbers?
So this is, again, another great report. So we are, shipments for the month were up 28% over last year. Carried predominantly by that export market, which was up 52%. Mm-hmm. The industry is currently 78% sold, just about where we were this time last year. We've received 3.1 billion pounds. So I think you'll be under that 3.15 number that we've been kind of talking about as a high end. So I think you'll be underneath that.
Did I hear you correctly that the shipments for the month are up 28%?
Yeah, so 28%, that puts you, that's actually the second best performance in terms of pounds shipped for the year. So October was the most pounds we'd shipped this year, or ever in a month. That was 309 million pounds.
And that's always the biggest month.
Right. And so we shipped 267 million pounds in March. So the second largest month really ever that we've ever shipped.
And that 52% up on exports just sounds unreal, huh?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that was due to the logistical issue getting smoothed out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And really that we'd been carrying some sales over for a period of time. So it's I wouldn't say it's broken free, but I would say that it's definitely smoother than it has been. And I think you should see the same in April.
And I think we've been talking about that, at least the last one or maybe the one before, that by May this thing hopefully is all over. It looks like that's what's happening.
It's heading that way as right now. I think the one thing that we need to talk about for sure is that domestic market. So this is the second month of the year that they're down. So they were down about 10%. And I think people are scratching their heads as to why is this happening. And it's been explained, and I think it makes some sense that a lot of the retail markets that you still go to, the grocery stores, they're still making you wait outside. Mm-hmm. COVID is still very real. I think it's not the country's not completely wide open yet. So I think that makes some sense. And I think early in this crop year, the domestic market was really performing quite well. There was a few months there, September and October, where they're up 17%. So I think you see a little bit of that as well. But despite the domestic market not performing in the month of March, you still you still had a fantastic performance overall.
Yeah, and I know we've mentioned it in previous reports. Sometimes when you don't ship to an area, that just means that they're empty, so that you look for that to happen later down the road. Now, that may be an excuse if we just continue this trend, but I think, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but yeah, why not? Year to date, are they up or?
Up 3.75% so far, which is, again, less than we want to see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really, it's not fantastic, but I do think that there's still more business to be done.
Okay, so now put it in context, the year-to-date shipments. What are they up? So
we're up just over 17%.
And that crop size is 22% up.
Right.
Okay, so we've been improving this year-to-date number.
Yes.
And do you want to start to make some more guesses on what that means for the finish?
Yeah, I think that you're probably going to end the year up anywhere from 18 to 20% on shipments. I think going forward, you really kind of have low-hanging fruit per se with the shipments per month. May of last year was like 154 million pounds, so I think you'll easily do that. April last year was 181 million pounds. I think you'll easily beat that. So I definitely think you're really gonna start to make some headway. And I don't think it's just about sales or about shipments. I think it's a lot about sales. Mm-hmm. And I think if you look at how many pounds were sold in the month of March, it was better than most people had expected. So last year, the industry sold 174 million pounds in the month of March, and we sold 191 this year. So
okay, and we've
up
said
10%.
We've said before, sales mean that shipments are coming. So that's a good lead-in sort of thing.
Right. And I think it makes California as sellers more comfortable Okay, in the month of March I had the liquidity. So far in April it has not been as active, but that's kind of on both sides of the aisle, right? The sellers haven't really been that excited about these prices to continue to sell, and I think the buyers were wanting to see this report as well as some of the estimates that are coming out. So I think that kind of created a little bit of a divide between the two, and everybody was okay to wait.
Okay.
And
we should emphasize that these, this incredible shipments and sales has been really on the back of very, very low pricing, right?
Right.
And everybody is waiting for, okay, great, now can I start this thing moving up, huh?
Right. I think you have a shot at it.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. Yeah. I think really in order to finish out this year that 18 to 20% up, I do think the market has to continue to be active. I think that people still need to continue to sell. I think most of those seasonal pools out there are probably 80% or more sold, maybe 85, closer to maybe 90, some of them. So I think a lot of this falls in the hands of the call growers. Mm-hmm. And I do think that that's going to make or break it.
Yeah, and you did mention estimates. So we're right on the cusp of, we've had one early one. It's one that people maybe don't pay as much of attention. The big one lately has been the Terra Nova estimate, and we're assuming going to come out with a number next week.
Yeah.
So you want to quickly run through what you think expectations are for numbers? I mean, it's a guess.
But. Yeah, I have no clue what Terra Nova is going to come out with. I just know what we talk about here, what our growers are talking about, and it's just generally a sentiment of a lot of push-outs, lower yields per acre, and lower overall crop size.
Yeah.
I think people are expecting it to be hard to get underneath a 2.8 billion pound crop and hard to get over a 2.9. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the window that you're talking.
So if you want to do, and again, these are all way too early, but so anything that says maybe emphasizes 2.8 or below it would be considered quite bullish.
Yes.
I would think anything that hits 2.9 and above may be more bearish.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and here we come, and let's see.
And with those things out ahead of you, so once you start to have these estimates out ahead, and we start to see these good shipments develop that we think are going to be there, then I think you're getting in a comfortable position as a seller.
And you can start to hopefully bring the price up, because we all need it, right? I mean, these are prices that are too low, right? Economically to a grower, especially with increased costs, especially with the drought and what that brings to a man, especially with the expectation that their yields are lighter as well. So we basically need it, want it, promoting it, higher prices. Huh?
And continue to participate like like we have been as an industry.
So quick summary, so we don't drag it out too long. Do you want to emphasize some areas of the world? We usually do that.
So we talked about the U.S. domestic market. The Western European market was up 42% for the month. China, including Hong Kong, Vietnam as well, was up 125%. So you're seeing a lot of good traction there. The Middle East was up 60%, or not Middle East, India was up 60% for the month. In-shell market has just been phenomenal. I mean, the Indians have been performing pretty much all year. The Middle East finally, for the first time in a while, has gone from being negative for the year to up 2% for the year. They were up 35% for the month. So I think you're seeing these major markets, the U.S. domestic market aside, the major markets are really, really performing.
Yeah, and we are entering into a period where maybe the Ramadan's set to start in the 12th, you said. Yeah. You're past, Easter, you're past Christmas, obviously, you're past Diwali. Yeah. So really you've got a little bit of a lull period. Usually the summer months are not big consuming months. As you said, low, but we'll see how it develops.
Yep.
Well, it's been spectacular, I think, from a crop size. I mean, if you're 28% up for a month and year to date 17 plus, that's been fantastic.
Right.
So finish with
great
anything
performance.
More, or that's
all I've got.
All right. Thank you very much.